Hello and welcome again to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button. I couldn't blow this one up, so I'm just going to have to leave it like that and you read it. It says, poor Al Gore. He's trying to salvage his reputation by single-handedly melting the polar ice caps himself. Yeah, Al Gore making money. A lot, millions and millions of dollars off the climate hoax. Millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars off the climate hoax. We have 3 breaking stories to get to right now, so let's do this. First, Kellyanne Conway just risked everything by coming out on TV and talking about getting killed. And when asked about U.S. aid to Pakistan, Tillerson just gave a stunning response. And finally, the truth hurts. What these people just did to crooked Hillary made Trump's day, and it also made my day. Story by Justin Shelton. Let's get right into this with Paris Swade's story first. Kellyanne Conway just risked everything by coming out on TV and talking about getting killed. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway branded Trump as the healer-in-chief after the president's call for unity. He used graphic language about Representative Steve Scalise to attack the president on TV. Watch what Kellyanne says in 1:30 minutes in. We're going to listen to the whole thing.
Joining us right now is Kellyanne Conway, special counselor to President Donald Trump. She's on the North Lawn, where I'm sure that vacuum cleaner is going to go by in a little while. I can hear it in the distance.
It's polishing the pebbles.
That's all. Well, Kellyanne, the congressional baseball game was last night. They sold a record number of tickets, I think 25,000. It was so inspiring at the very beginning when everybody was together and everybody went out to second base where Steve Scalise plays. Of course, he's still in the hospital in critical condition. What's your reaction to what happened last night?
I was there at the game last night at the beginning, and there was a feeling of unity and healing. And I think that was brought about by our leader, President Donald Trump. He's being a healer-in-chief. He's been just remarkably wonderful to the entire country, calling for unity, praying for those who have been injured, for their full recovery. And I think in the shadow of that, you have people reverting to their hateful rhetoric already again. Just yesterday, I think the unity lasted a hot minute for some leaders. We will continue to disagree on policy and on issues, but I really would ask people to think about the hateful rhetoric. This man, the shooter the other day, didn't hate baseball. He hated Republicans, and his social media feed was a complete anti-Trump, anti-Republican screed. I mean, for those, particularly in the media, who are so obsessed with the president's social media postings, why isn't everybody looking inside a little bit at what they're posting and what they're saying? Because really, nobody's responsible for this shooting except the shooter. There's no question about that. At the same time, you can oppose policies, but it's done with such hateful, charged rhetoric that active resistance becomes armed resistance in the case of this lone gunman.
Sure. I mean, Kellyanne, last night was altogether fitting and proper, exactly the type of display we should see. Do you feel like, however, amongst Democratic leaders in this country, enough is being done to say, tone it down, stop it, we can't bring this to the brink? Not that they're encouraging violence, no one's saying they are necessarily, but the rhetoric is so hot. Can they do more? Should they do more?
Wait a second. I'm saying that they are, what did he say? Condoning violence? I say that they are. He said, nobody's saying, I am. The left is definitely pushing violence. And the media is taking that story and running with it hardcore. So yeah, they are pushing violence. This is their fault. If it's anyone's fault, it's the gunman's fault. Then it's the Democrats and the MSM.
I heard the Republican leader say it last night in an interview on a different network. You had Leader McConnell and Speaker Ryan saying exactly that, and that they work together every day with their Democratic colleagues. They often disagree. We can't seem to get Democratic votes for very much. We certainly welcome them for all of our policies. But at the same time, you had Leader Pelosi yesterday pointing the finger already. 2 days ago, she said she, quote, she hopes for the success of Donald Trump's presidency. And yesterday, she was pointing fingers again. So I do think some people are unloading their shame and their guilt in a call for toning down the toxicity and the rhetoric. But I did a really clever thing. I went back and looked at exactly what was being discussed on all the TV shows except yours at 7:09 a.m. on Wednesday when this happened. And it's a really curious exercise because as Steve Scalise was fighting for his life and crawling into right field in a trail of blood, you should go back and see what people were saying about the president and the Republicans at that very moment. Of course, they had to break in with the news of this tragedy, and since then there's been some introspection, some quieter, more muted voices toning down the rhetoric. But look at Twitter. If I were shot and killed tomorrow, half of Twitter would explode in applause and excitement. This is the world we live in now, and it's terrible because it's one thing to say I disagree with you on healthcare repeal or on taxes or on your plan for national security. But you can't attack people personally in a way and think that tragedies like this won't happen. And by the way, look at the response from some in the public. You've got Martha McSally, Congresswoman from Arizona, Claudia Tenney, Congresswoman from New York, two women I know very well and work with closely. They have been directly threatened since this happened, as have others. And that's very concerning to everyone. We don't want to live in a police state because we can't get control of people's rhetoric. But this is a call for leaders to do more and to speak directly to those. But look, this is also the natural byproduct. If you have images of the president being shot in rappers' videos, being assassinated in a production there in New York City, the picture of a severed head. I mean, this is... all of that is a toxic stew. Again, there's nobody to blame but the shooter here.
And Kellyanne?
But, the calls for tamping down also should be there should be some introspection there.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch and see how they cover things going forward. That was all before the shooting happened. It will be interesting to see how the mainstream media covers President Trump's trip to Miami today. What is he doing down in Miami today, Kellyanne?
So down in Miami today, the president's doing a very exciting thing for the Cuban people. Our unity is with the Cuban people, not the oppressive Cuban regime that has benefited from these changes in the Obama administration policies that helped the military, the security, and the intelligence entities there benefit from U.S.-derived funds. That has to stop, and that will stop. The president also, as he's done with every single deal that he has rescinded or questioned or taken us out of, he is welcoming the Cuban regime to be better to its people, to meet basic requirements of a free and fair society that treats its people well and gives them basic freedoms and human rights, and welcoming them to the table to get a better deal. But this, of course, to cut off that money supply is important. What happened really benefited the Cuban regime, did not benefit the Cuban people.
Sure. Kellyanne, President Trump was able to do something that President Obama could not do, and that was get the North Koreans to release Otto Warmbier. Here he is, shortly after he was arrested for apparently taking a poster or something like that from his hotel.
Trying to take one down, but didn't do it.
Yeah, his father had a press conference yesterday wearing exactly the same jacket that his son wore in the images we just saw. And he does give the president credit for doing that because during the Obama administration, they didn't really do much to help that family.
Well, we're just so thrilled here at the White House to know that Otto is home with his family in Ohio, and we wish him all the best, a full recovery and a full life. And we're very happy that his father has gone public with his son's story to the extent that he feels comfortable without divulging family matters. And you're right, our State Department and this president worked very hard for this American's release from the oppressive North Korea. And I noticed yesterday when Nancy Pelosi was asked, did she think the Obama administration had done enough to get Otto's release, she dodged that question. She had an awful lot to say about other people's rhetoric. She had zero to say about whether the Obama administration had done enough. But we know that the Trump administration and our State Department through Secretary Tillerson did plenty in very short order. We've been here for less than 5 months. We're just so happy that this young man is home.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish it were better circumstances, given the fact that he currently is essentially in a vegetative state. It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Kellyanne, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pray for him, definitely. Thank you.
Look at Twitter, Conway said on Fox and Friends on Friday. If I was shot and killed tomorrow, half of Twitter will explode in applause and excitement. This is the world we live in now. Scalise. Heard he's doing better and better. Conway got on TV and called for unity. This is where we are now in politics. The country is wounded. Watch what she said again? I don't think we're going to watch it again, but if it's different. Yeah, you know what?
Dust on all the TV shows except yours at 7.
Yeah, we saw that. So, you can't attack people personally rather than on policy and think tragedies like the Virginia shooting won't happen. It's one thing to say I disagree with you on healthcare repairs or on taxes or on your plan for national security, she continued, but you can't attack people personally in the way they think that tragedies like this won't happen. She's absolutely right. The liberal media has worked people into a froth, a frenzy. Trump has called for unity and justice. We won't back down from his enemies. Crooked H. Hillary destroyed phones with hammer, bleached emails, and had husband meet with Attorney General days before she was cleared. And they talk about obstruction? Kellyanne is catching those liberals where it hurts. She called it. The media has made people hate her so much that millions of people would celebrate her death. She's a mom, a patriot, and she loves God. She's an American as you or me. Share this with every single Trump supporter you know. This has to stop now. Why is the media not held accountable for all the hate they spew? All right. When asked about U.S. aid to Pakistan, Tillerson just gave a stunning response. Story by Emily Noack. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson announced that Trump administration will be reviewing its programs to Pakistan during a congressional hearing on Friday. Tillerson's exact words were, "We are beginning an interagency policy review towards Pakistan, continued American aid to Pakistan. It's going to be one of the considerations." These comments were in response to Congressman Dana Rohrabacher's, a Republican from California, poignant questions during the hearing. Are we still giving money to Pakistan? Dr. Alfredi is being held in a dungeon there, and the Pakistanians continue. We know that ICI continues with notorious support of terrorist elements in Afghanistan. Why are we still giving Pakistan aid at all? The ISI is the Pakistani Intelligence Service Agency. Tillerson noted that Representative Rohrabacher's concerns were well-founded and went on to say the president has asked a question specifically about our level of support and funding to Pakistan. No decision is to be taken until we complete the policy review. Representative Rohrabacher has been speaking out against aid to Pakistan for years. Here is one of his impassioned pleas to stop aid. Maybe now that Trump's in charge, someone will listen. We're listening.
Pakistan is supporting America's enemies who are attacking American soldiers in Afghanistan and have targeted and, of course, brutally murdered other Americans and brutally murder other people throughout that region who are hostile to their radical Islamic terrorist agenda. Secretary Kerry says that we must give support to placate the positive elements in Pakistan. You know, sort of reminds me of when somebody was saying back before World War II, you know, we better try to get with Hitler because there are some really bad guys in the Nazi Party. Even worse than Hitler. Give me a break. Hitler was an evil man, and the people in Pakistan, the clique that runs that country and engages in terrorism, is an evil clique, and we should not be providing them the resources they need to build their military capabilities.
You went down with my click. Pakistan is proven to be a destabilizing force in Afghanistan and a sponsor of terror. Yet, according to the Representative Ted Poe, who was also at the hearing, Pakistan has been getting $500 million a year in aid, not including military aid. I'm so happy we finally have an administration in charge that is willing to critically review these practices. An administration that is tired of America being taken advantage of. All right, and finally, a story that's going to make you smile and be happy for the rest of the day. The truth hurts. What these people just did to Crooked Hillary makes Trump's day, and it made mine too, and it's about to make yours. People who vandalize public property are surely not to be praised, but every so often vandalism can turn into something meaningful. This is especially true. I'll call you back. The ads are going up. I'll call you right back. Fuck. But every so often, especially true that the message told by a few outspoken people. Sometimes during the night, an exit sign in liberal, whatever. They screwed me up. Sometime during the night, an exit sign in liberal New York had some additional letters added to it. The message written shows Americans' true thoughts about the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The exit sign that sits on southbound Sagatuckos Parkway originally pointed towards Crooked Hill Road, but some sneaky patriots decided to send a message and change it to Crooked Hillary, exits S1W. Straight to hell. Crooked Hillary, loving that. This came in the wake of President Trump slamming Hillary through a few epic tweets Thursday afternoon. Why is it that Hillary Clinton's family and Democrats' dealings with Russia are not looked at, but my dealings are? Crooked Hillary destroyed phones with a hammer, bleached emails, and had husband meet with AG before she was cleared. And they talk about obstruction? To be clear, I am not promoting vandalism in any way, shape, or form. I do, however, think it is really interesting to see how far people will go to stop us from being silenced. We need to be heard. Why do Dems keep trying to slow down our president from making our country great again? Instead, they need to be investigating Crooked Hillary, where the real proof is proof of what she did. Like and share this if we need to stop bogus investigation into President Trump and look into the real criminals like Hillary Clinton. I'm loving it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Poor Al Gore. Keep blowing that blow dryer, buddy. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, then you'll love what we have for you next, right where those arrows are pointing. So click on it, and I'll see you in a moment. Thanks for watching. Your real news source, not fake news.